instruction is to start at the tank and work from the tank towards the motor. All right. So your first check, well, maybe let's start off with reasons that you would need to, is either air in the system or a lack of diesel. So you've run out of diesel. You've sucked air and you now need to fill up again and get diesel back into the motor. All right. So first place to start is to check that there is actually diesel in the tank. And that there hasn't been some problem which is now drained. All right, so you check for diesel, check that it's not contaminated. Then you're going to check that your fuel shutoff is open, that no one's accidentally knocked that closed. Quick fix on your problem then. Right, then you check your lines, make sure that there's no holes in them along the way where you are possibly getting air into the system. All right, you're then going to follow through. Okay, now if you look on that back, you're going to have to probably switch to the lazarette. All right, you're going to see there's a filter there, a white filter with diesel in a little glass thing below it. Do you see it?
The GUD.
Yeah, the GUD. Okay, now that there is a filter. It's your first filter as well as your water trap. So that thing is there to take any water that's in the diesel out, so you don't contaminate it on your motor side. All right, so you check that glass bowl at the bottom and you make sure that there isn't any water in there. If there is water in there, you need to drain that water off. So underneath that glass bowl is a little screw which you open up. We put a little bucket under there and you're going to catch that water that's coming out. When you get clear diesel running through again, you close that screw off. You now know you're good to go. You've got clear diesel that far.
I need to take a quick break.
How to do? Okay, you then follow your line towards the motor. The reason I'm saying do that is because you might be doing this on a motor that you don't know, on someone else's boat. All right, so I'm trying to give it to you in ways that you can trace the system yourself pretty quickly. Okay, you follow the lines across, it will inevitably go into another filter, which is on the starboard side. There's a black filter over here, and on top of that, you won't be able to see it, but where my finger is, there is a nut which you're going to crack. Okay, so you're going to open that up, and then on this is the lift pump. So there's a little lever over here, okay, and that manually will push diesel through that filter. You're going to use your lift pump, push it through the filter. Okay, once you've got clean diesel coming out the top of your filter, again, no bubbles. All right, you're going to come across, you're going to follow. So this is your high pressure pump for your injectors. You're going to open both of these nuts on your injector lines on the motor side. Okay, from that point onwards, your lift pump no longer works because it's coming through a high pressure unit. All right, so then once those are cracked, you actually need to turn the motor over. All right, so you need to try start it a couple times until you get pure diesel coming through here, no more bubbles. Okay, once you're getting that, close your injectors off again, tighten them up, and go for a start. It should start.
Seems totally legit. Not like you're gonna get killed when you go in there or something.
Okay, now I'll give you the cheat code, which isn't in the book. Okay.
We need this video, right?
Okay.
This,
Now
this
the
video was a
cheat
great
code.
idea.
The cheat code, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna insert like a.
So the cheat code.
They got me with that.
I just knew I had to go to the movie and find out what the Matrix actually was. But when I left the movie, I was still confused and still had no clue what the Matrix was. One of my friends tried to explain it, but he really didn't know either.
Is no, start that same system, but instead of wasting your time with that lift pump, which is, it moves such a small amount of diesel at a time. Crack that nut, come straight across, crack your injectors, open the whole system, because now you're allowing air to escape. Instead of coming out the filter though, it's going to come out the injectors. Okay, crack your injectors, make sure that that one on top of the filter's open, and turn the engine over. Inevitably that actually fixes the problem right there, and you've saved yourself sitting there playing with that lift pump. Alright, so that's just the quicker way to do it.
Because a cheat note is open up everything.
Open everything up and crank it. So on
Mix Automarine.
on one of these
Make
V-belts,
shit right.
you want a quarter to a half turn. So if you imagine a full circle, you want a quarter to a half turn on it without too much difficulty. That's about the right tension on your V-belt. Your flat bolts are a little bit different. Those you have to push on them to check the tension. Don't worry too much about those, you won't see too many. And then to check oil,
Here we go again. The man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. Here we go again.
and then the trick on this motor is when you put it back in, look underneath to get the hole. There we go. The hose from the inlet up to the raw water pump, and that's where your impeller will be sitting. The back side of that is where the impeller goes. It goes in there. It does have a direction, so you need to check on the back. When you take the other one out, there should be a little arrow on there. So you just must check your direction of which way it turns. I'm not sure if this one has, sometimes they print it on the, this one's old, so it might have been worn off already. Yeah, I think this one was worn off. Sometimes inside here they'll have the arrow, and then you basically just match the arrows. Some of them are universal, can go in anywhere. Some of them will have a direction that they need to go.
So I'm going to need to have a gimbal and a good smartphone. Take some photos there and then look at it and then be able to put it in. Sorry.
Get used to having camera in your face.
Get used to it.
Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine in my mind.